Kent Spitfires' chances of reaching the knockout stages of this season's NatWest T20 Blast received a blow as they lost for the 6th time in a row, losing their latest match by 47 runs at home to Hampshire. Acting captain Darren Stevens won the toss and elected to field first, and that looked to be the right thing to do when the dangerous James Vince was out to the 3rd ball of the night, as he was well taken behind the stumps by Sam Billings off Stevens. Stevens' first over cost 9 runs, but his second one was expensive as Michael Carberry went after him. The second ball was hit over the top for 4. The third went over mid-off rather than mid-on for another boundary. And the fourth was also struck for 4 as the former England man tucked into anything that he could swing through the line to. The 5th delivery was an even better one for Carberry and his team, as the opener leant back in his crease and got enough on his shot to clear the rope this time. 18 had been scored off just 4 balls. But the next one saw the end of Carberry for that score as he tried to hit another maximum, only to find Adam Ball on the cow corner boundary. In the next over, Mitch Claydon found the edge of Jimmy Adams' bat to have him taken behind by Billings for 15 to leave the visitors on 38 for 3. On a good pitch on a glorious night in the Garden of England, Hampshire's policy seemed to be hit out or get out. Will Smith took Ben Harmison for a 6, before Glenn Maxwell also went the distance in the next over off ball to take the total to 62 for 3 at the end of an exhilarating power play. It was an extraordinary approach from the visitors, who then lost Maxwell for 13 as he went aerial again, only to be caught by Daniel Bell-Drummond off Harmison. That left Hampshire in a spot of bother on 62 for 4, but they still decided to play their shots. Yet another 6 was added as Sean Irvin went big off Adam Riley. Hampshire had reached a score of 90 for 4 at the end of the 10th over, and Irvin and Smith then turned this into a more normal affair with just the occasional boundary as they took their partnership to 69 in 8 overs, giving the remaining batsmen a licence to play yet more shots. A 5th maximum of the innings arrived in the 14th over, with Irvin giving a ball from James Treadwell an almighty thwack. This was fearless cricket from a side used to doing well in this tournament. Smith had made 37 off 31 balls when he tried to dab ball down to 3rd man, only to be bowled, but the former Durham captain had put his side into a strong position. Chris Wood followed for a duck as he tried to steal a single off Treadwell that was never there, allowing Stevens to complete a rather easy run-out. Next ball, Treadwell found a bit of turn to bowl Kyle Abbott for a golden duck, with a score now on 134 for 7, with 4.5 overs still left. Treadwell went off with figures of 1 for 29, and his replacement Claydon then got one through Irvin to bowl the Zimbabwean for a game-changing 47, which had been made off 35 balls. Matt Coles, with a tiny bit of help from Michael Bates, then took 24 runs off the next 16 balls, before the former was very well run out by Claydon, whose hand was still ringing after stopping a fierce drive from the former Kent player, who was out for a quick-fire 29. Bates then pulled the last ball for 4 as Hampshire ended their 20 overs on 173 for 9, Claydon the pick of the Kent attack, with figures of 2 for 26 from his 4 overs. It had been a very effective approach from the visitors, who then removed Bell-Drummond in the 2nd over of the reply, the Spitfires opener slicing his hit off Wood out to Maxwell in the deep. Only 12 runs came off the first 3 overs, so Sam Northeast needed to do something, and that thing was to send this ball from Wood into the distance for a huge 6. But he didn't last much longer. On 15 from 11 deliveries, he tried to launch Coles into space, but could only find Maxwell off a shot which wasn't timed at all. So it was left to Stevens and Fabian Cowdrey to try to build a platform. The total read 38 for 2 at the end of the power play, and then these two carried the score to 60 after 9 overs. That left 114 more to get from the last 11, but Cowdrey's innings came to an end on 22 when his advancement was spotted by Danny Briggs, leaving it to Bates to complete a stumping. If the Spitfires were going to get close, then they needed a big innings from Stevens. He threatened by taking Smith for a maximum, but 3 balls later, the all-rounder used the edge of his bat rather than the middle to offer Bates a running catch. Stevens had to go for 23. With 8 overs now remaining, 94 runs were still required, and so a couple of very big overs were needed. Alex Blake tried his best. He hit 6s off successive overs, delivered by Smith and Coles, but they were the only boundaries in a 3-over spell, which now left 73 to get off the last 36 balls. So Billings attacked Briggs. The second delivery of the 15th over went for 4, and the third was struck for this 6, in an over that cost 13 runs, which was the rate that was now required. But it proved to be too much for the home side, who lost their remaining wickets in a hurry. Billings on 19 drilled a slower ball from Coles into the hands of Adams in the covers. Blake chipped a delivery from Wood out to Maxwell to go for what was a top score of 26 in the innings. Ball had a swing and a miss in the same over and lost his off-stump to Wood. Harmison was also bowled by Abbott in the next over, the 18th. And just 2 balls later, Claydon was also bowled as Abbott got his lengths just right. The game was ended with 8 balls not used as Wood collected his 4th wicket by also hitting the stumps of Riley with his slower ball. The Spitfires had needed someone to make a score, but in the end they were dismissed for 126. So after such an encouraging start to this season's competition, the Spitfires are now 4 points out of the top 4 with 4 games remaining. Win all of them and they could still easily qualify for the last 8. But after losing this match by 47 runs, they have it all to do. Next up, it's a trip to Hove next Friday, and that's a must-win game.